How are you feeling at this moment in time?
Oh,
Obviously 3 points against Wolves, but a bit disappointing yesterday, huh?
clearly
Or
I've had
Saturday, rather.
the worst footballing weekend. I'm thinking this luck has to change. Uh, yeah, I was in the away end on Saturday, and I was on the show on Thursday with Hugh Wozencroft, and they were quite cynical about Man United and quite negative. And I was saying, come on, we're going to be all right. It's one game against Wolves. Well, being in that away end on Saturday, it was really bad. And I think when you're at the games live, you have more of an understanding. When the players are not running, when there's no philosophy, when there's no, yes, it's only 2 games, but we just looked all over the place. First half, we weren't too bad. Second half, we were making, Basuma look like primetime Iniesta. He was going through our midfield like, knife through butter. So he had a fantastic game, Sarr and Basuma, taking nothing away from Spurs, because I thought second half they were brilliant, but we were just poor. Really, really poor. And I was at the first 2 games of the season last year, Brentford and Brighton. We're not as bad as that, but the players look lost.
Yeah, they did. I totally agree with you Saturday, Lianne. They did. What, Lianne, just very quickly, Marcus Rashford, is he going to step forward and be your centre forward, your number 9? I know he scores goals and his tally last season was good, but there's an opportunity for him, I think, to go and absolutely say, you don't need to go and look at Harry Kane or in the future, or you don't need to look at this striker, that striker. I can be your man. Do you believe he can be the man for United?
Yeah, but he seems to want to play out wide, doesn't he? Coming in from the left. I mean, I don't know with these modern day footballers. I would have just played anywhere the manager put me, played to the maximum of my ability. I'm not saying he's not, but he looks like a player. I mean, he's isolated up top on his own. The ball's being thumped into him. He's having to drop deep, and that's not his game. Checking with his back to goal. So I feel a bit sorry for him at times, but ultimately, there is an opportunity there that he needs to take. And we know Rashford was so good last year, but he doesn't look like he wants to play there, and that's kind of a concern to me because it doesn't look like Erik Ten Hag's changing anything anytime soon. But ultimately, our wingers have been so poor. The consistency of Antony, Garnacho, Jaden Sancho, it's just they flip-flop on who's going to have, they don't really have a good game. I can't think of one game where I thought, you know what, they've played outstanding. When you look at Man City, you can come off of a game and you think, God, you could pick about 5 or 6 player of the matches. With Man United, you think, Wan-Bissaka's actually been really good, and Varane and Onana. Other than that, the rest of them haven't really done anything at all.
Leanne, I've got to say, you must feel magic now getting that off your chest. You must feel brilliant. You must feel a new woman, man.
No, I'm not. I'm not with my father-in-law.
Listen, obviously, as you would expect, tinged with sadness, but surely the overriding factor and feeling must be a great degree of pride. The girls did ever so well.
Yeah, definitely pride. But you know what it's like, Ali, when you lose a game. I felt like I played. We did the game live on air. You have to kind of control your emotions. And today I feel like I've been hit by a bus, to be honest. When everything just kind of comes at you. But extremely proud of the players, extremely proud of the girls and the team and the staff. Serena Wiegman's now been to 2 back-to-back World Cup finals, lost both of them, which might sound really bad, but she's got there with teams that had no divine right to even be there. I think because everyone in England now is on board with the Lionesses, they automatically assume that we've always been the favourites of going to the European Championships, and when it wasn't. Spain, Sweden, those types of teams were. Even at the World Cup, we wasn't the favourite. So extremely proud. I think if this happens at the next World Cup, people will start to kind of have different opinions. It will no longer be so proud. Probably people will come after the team, to be honest, because the sport is growing. But I'm extremely proud. And I think the fact that it's on every single, not just back page, front page, it's a proud moment. Seeing that women's sport has grown in this country, football in the last year, not even 5 years. It's been so drastically the growth in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, I mean, hindsight's the greatest thing in the world, right? Of course, as you all look back and say, maybe we should have done something differently. Was there anything, because we thought the Spanish team, particularly in the first half, were absolutely excellent. Was there anything that the Wiegman could have done to change it, or was it just a case of beating by the better side?
I think ultimately the decision she made at half-time, I wasn't too critical on air because I feel like sometimes when I say stuff about Serena Wiegman, and I absolutely love her, she's always right. Against last year, she took off Beth Mead and Fran Kirby and then put on Ella Toon and Alessia Russo, and we won the game with a Georgia Stanway strike. But taking off your 2 somewhat centre forwards, Rachel Daly's been playing fullback, but one of the top goal scorers in the league here, and taking off Alessia Russo at half-time, not quite sure that was really the answer. Something needed to change tactically because their right side was completely overloading us. the left side, sorry, with Lucy Bronze on our right and Jess Carter would get overrun. We went from a back 3 to a back 4 at half time, and it just didn't work. You can't take off. Then we had no out and out striker on the pitch. Lauren Hemp has been brilliant during this tournament, but she isn't a centre forward. Then she looked a bit lost when Alessia Russo went off. So making those type of drastic half-time substitutions, she never does that. Never really changes her team, and if she does, it's quite late on. Then bring Beth England on in the 88th minute. Yes, there was 13 minutes to go, additional time, but those decisions. But ultimately, Ali, they were better than us. I said the substitutions weren't the reason why we lost the game. We lost the game because we wasn't at it. We wasn't good enough. And they were just superior. I mean, they've got top players in their team. And I said we could definitely do it, but it wasn't going to be easy.
Who are the real plus points, Lianne, for you for England throughout the tournament?
I think Lauren Hemp, definitely. She moved into the 2 with Alessia Russo. Fantastic. I thought our back 3, apart from yesterday, were extremely good. Millie Bright, Jess Carter, Alex Greenwood. I think, obviously, coming into the tournament, Millie Bright hadn't played any minutes and then goes and plays every single minute all the way to the final after that. I
thought she was terrific. I really did.
Yeah, she was. So there's some real standout players. And unfortunately, yesterday, you know how it goes. Some days it's just not your day, and you can turn up to a big game, and some players, I think, mentally it got the best of them. We saw some of our best players having probably one of their worst games yesterday, and it was the wrong moment to have it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.